Good morning. This is Deborah at Holy Love Reiki. I'd like to talk to you this morning about a personal journey, not as some Reiki master expert, but as just a person that's lived a life that's shown her some things, and the processes that I've been led to use, how amazingly effective they are in healing so many life issues for people around me that I'm just completely impressed. It started with me as, a traumatized adult and came through from a teen year experience of suicide and, having survived my first love suicide, having a lot of emotional trauma and just feeling like from my Catholic upbringing that there was no place sacred to turn because there was so much judgment. But I started to just follow my heart calling that was really an intention to heal that wound and so that I could, love again because I was feeling so disconnected from feelings of love after that suicide. And I started to just find, be led by my heart. And I found practices that actually heal those emotional wounds and traumas that I can't even explain why or how. I can only say that they work. And these processes have been developed by people that have named them and created programs for certifications and, and rightly so, for medical to start paying attention, medical science. We need to identify things and certify people who do them properly. So I joined the International Center for Reiki Training because of the standardized teaching and the fabulous teaching manuals, the training manuals, and also because William Rand, the teacher there, follows traditional history of the lineage in discerning truth, going to the origins of, where it came back to modern society and to be brought into our modern culture now, and how it's evolved from Asui Reiki from 1920s to the current place of 100 years later, where we now have access to something called holy fire. The other processes I found that were really helpful for healing my trauma were the emotion code and body code systems. And those processes really just teach a simple method for clearing identified trapped emotions. But the most useful thing that I have found, well, a couple of amazing things. First of all, Reiki came in, and Reiki's just the light of the divine that's within you and within each of us. And that light of the divine comes from a source that's unlimited, and it's the source of creation, really. And it's all life has this life force in it. But when we start tuning into our own life force and just turning up the volume, it turns out that it's really love. It's the essence of love, and it's the essence of a pure love, of unconditional love. And it heals those wounds that underlie all of the traumas and troubles that we have in our lives. Those wounded parts are the parts of us that feel unworthy, that feel limited and shut down in so many ways. And what I've found through training with the Way of the Heart, which is another energy spiritual training that I practice, applied kinesiology can guide a process by tapping into the intelligence in the soul body. So there's an energy body that runs and governs all the aspects of your being, operations of the body, of the physical body, but also the mental, emotional states. And the energies really are a part of our personal unique expression because they hold the patterns that create beliefs and programs of belief systems that may have come in from our lineage or have been developed from childhood to create thought processes and emotional states that are patterns of thought and belief that can limit our personal potential if we're not aligned fully with what the meaning is for those, and if they're not heart-centered, if they're not a part of our divine expression, then those can be very limiting to fulfillment of our potential, personal potential. So what I've found is healing those negative energy patterns of thought and emotion through the process of clearing along the governing meridian releases those patterns very effectively and clearly, and brings about more clear expression of homeostasis, which is the body's ability to balance itself in physical, mental, emotional, and spiritual, to a place of feeling whole and true to yourself and connected to source that loves you unconditionally and sees you as perfect. So, and it doesn't have to be called any name or go to a church to find it. It's actually already in you. So Reiki has shown me that. The spiritual practices I follow are really about identifying ourselves as an energy being that has a spiritual center that's connected to a source of unconditional love, which heals us holistically. So when you begin to recognize the effect in the experience, is when you start to wake up to the reality of it, because no matter how much I can explain about it over years of experiencing this and working with these energy patterns, I've been able to identify the truth of them through my own personal experience. So the healing that I've received from these teachings and these modalities that work with energies has been profound. And it's also been something that I've been able to create for others in healing health and healing their lives, the reconnection with life, for several people, many clients that I've seen. And so, and I don't actually identify myself as the healer, because I'm actually only co-creating that healing with someone by responding to a need. So I'm really working with my heart's intention to serve the highest good for a person as I clear the energy patterns with my intention. And my intention is very heart-centered and focused on the highest good for all concerned. So as I develop myself more, I'm able to do more for others because the clear path is shown, and I have much easier discernment of identification of where those patterns lie, and the intention of releasing them is more focused and effective. I use a meditation practice that's very potent, and the most important part of having that clear-mindedness of intention to be able to identify and release these patterns. So meditation is really important too, because mental clarity is what gives us the power to create. And mental clarity comes from emotional intelligence, and healing emotional wounding gives our minds a boost to be more whole-minded, more intentional in co-creating the desires of our hearts, and also so much more effective at releasing negative energy patterns from the energy body of myself and others. So a meditation practice I use the Ishaya. Ishaya is a Sanskrit word, means for Christ consciousness. I use Ishaya ascension to clear my mind and open my heart and receive more of the gifts of the unconditional love, so that I can share that more clearly and effectively with the practices I use and teach. I teach Holy Fire, which is the evolution of Asui Reiki, which comes to us from an unlimited supply of unconditional love and healing, and it goes directly to each person. So the beauty of this work is that we're really kind of the conduits and the ones who hold space. Reiki masters are people who are willing to hold space for the light to come to others. And that's basically how we teach and how we share this practice through Holy Fire. And it's a fabulous experience, and it can be done from a distance on the phone. So I encourage you to try it. Call us for 20-minute session, and you'll see what I mean, that it's a very effective process. Even a 30-minute session, would be really effective. And you could see for yourself in an experience that it improves your life, your health, and your attitude in ways that, many of us can't even imagine. But it's a permanent shift, transformation, and it's real, and it's very effective. So I encourage you to try it. Open your mind and heart and give it a try. Find a Reiki master in your town who works with energy patterns. I would suggest anyone who's trained with the International Center for Reiki Training is someone you could count on as being a professional member there, and the ones who use his manuals. But I know that there are other international Reiki training that's just as effective, and other meditation practices also. Ishaya Ascension is a great meditation practice. It's fabulous. It's like rocket ship to the higher consciousness. In my opinion, the attitudes are fabulous. But if you want to look up Ishaya, it's Ishaya, Ascension. And so to get the clarity of mind that guides your heart to fulfillment of your desires, and really co-creating with great intention and getting your life in order. So anyway, that's how it works. And I'm Deborah at Holy Love Reiki. And if you want to talk about this some more, I'm open to conversation. You can call me at 503-706-0908. Have a great day.